Hi, everybody. Welcome to Human Biology. And I'm Professor Gustin, and we are in week 13. And that is a big deal because it's the last new material you're going to get for the semester. So let's talk about week 13 and then continue to watch the video. And I'll talk a little bit about week 14 and week 15. Week 13, we're going to be doing some anatomy of the urinary, endocrine, and reproductive systems, as well as a little bit of extra stuff. It turns out that I really liked the dissection of the fetal pig virtual labs that we had that we will be doing this week, but we didn't get all the anatomy that you need to dissect the fetal pig, at least virtually. And so I wanted to make sure that we covered those. We covered all the anatomy, and so I added on some anatomy of urinary, endocrine, and reproductive systems. So in 1 week to do all of those systems would be way too much. So I concentrated on anatomy, but I highlighted some parts and what they do and a couple diseases for each system, or not for reproductive, but for urinary and endocrine. So, you'll see that a lot of it's anatomy, but there is a little bit of extra stuff. In no way are these completely comprehensive descriptions, but if you're taking A&P, you're taking the next level course after this, there'll be good introductions. And even if you're not, they're really, I think I tried to include some things that would be useful to you that you could relate to. So we're going to be talking about that. One of the things I reminded you in the videos, but I want to remind in the lecture videos, but I want to remind you here too, is next week we have exam number 4, week 14, we have exam number 4. And I do put in a bunch of anatomical diagrams on the test. So I know there's diagrams of the eye. I'm going to have a picture of the urinary system, the endocrine system, the reproductive system. So make sure you're looking at those things while you're studying. For those, I use the pictures from the book. So you have the pictures in your ebook that you can study. Let's see. So the content this week, we have lecture study guide, regular old lecture study guide, urinary, endocrine, and reproductive systems. I have 4 videos that I made and a lecture assignment on all of that. We do a lab. The lab's not really that big, but it does there's 2 fetal pig virtual labs. Oh, there they are. They just got hidden. 2 fetal pig virtual labs, and there's a lab quiz to kind of test you on the rest of the handout. I just designed that handout so it's just good practice for the exams. Let's see. So somehow I messed that up. Fix that. All right. So the other thing I wanted to mention. So this week it's pretty straightforward. It's what you've been doing all along. So finish that all up, and then next week is week 14. Week 14, if you look on your syllabus, which I'm going to do right now, look on the syllabus. All it has on there is exam number 4. We don't have any lecture. We don't have any other lab. It's just to give you breathing space because I know it's a busy time of the semester. So, and give you plenty of time to study. By this time, you're probably looking at your final grade and thinking, can I pass this class or not? All the points are set up in the syllabus. You can see how many points you need for what grade. So you have 2 tests left. You have one in week 14, one in week 15, and add up how many points you're going to need to get to the grade you want and study accordingly. So if you need more, you need more than you to get to the next point. If you're trying to get to the next grade, study. The one thing on the syllabus says we're going to have a total of 820 points. I think I made the Respondus practice quiz 4 points instead of 10. So we're 6 points lower than what it says on the syllabus. And so I'll just adjust that. So you can see I'll still, 90% will still be an A and 87% will be a B+. It'll be just a few lower points. So you can figure that out of 8, what did I say, 6 lower points. So 814 points instead of 820 points. Okay. If you have any issues about what your how your points are coming out or how many points you need, let me know. I'll try to help you calculate that. So that's week 14. Week 14, we only have exam number 4. Then we get to week 15, which is final exam week. I'm going to start reminding you now. The final exam week, week 15, it's on your syllabus. It says the final exam is due Thursday, May 15th at 12 noon. The final exam during week 15. Right now we're in week 13. But in week 15, we have the final exam. It's due Thursday, May 15th at 12 noon, not midnight. If you give it to me at midnight, you're late. I'm going to take points off. Okay? You've got plenty of chances to get this right. The final exam is Thursday, May 15th at 12 noon. Okay? If you go to hand it in the next Monday, classes are going to be over. Look at your syllabus. I'm going to look at the final exams on Thursday. I'm going to put the grades in on Friday of final exam week. So pay attention to the final exam due date. All right. I think that's it. So if you have any questions or issues or anything, please let me know. You guys keep up the good work, and I'll see you in week 14.